So markets are very fragile, hostile. It is very hard to predict the market. One day it is gapping up, one day it is gapping down. In fact, the last 2 days I was sleepless because of looking at Gift Nifty. Gift Nifty showing a gap up of around 1,200 points. Before that, we saw a gap down of around 1,200 points. So it was like craziness, right? So market is all over the places, and it is going to be very hard going forward. Now I'll be outright to you, don't think I am discouraging you or something like that. Things are very very hard, and things are going to be very very hard. Just to tell you in layman terms, people ask what is a trade war, what is happening in terms of trade war. Now we really don't know whether Trump administration is fighting this with the whole world, or it is fighting with China alone, right? Now what they did, they imposed a tariff on all the countries, and they told Trump administration told you shouldn't be retaliating in whatever we are doing. Now China retaliated with 100% retaliated, and what happened is they paused the interest, sorry, not interested, they paused the tariff for 90 days, and we saw a boom in the market, especially in Asia Pacific market, apart from China, and European markets, and even all the markets. US market is going on the north side. Now in terms of a trade war, this is not going to end anytime soon. That is what I am trying to say. Now let me put you in layman terms. If you know iPhone, right? iPhone is a US company. It is headquartered in California. And what happens is, it is most of the components, whether you are in Australia, or whether you are in Singapore, or whether you are in US, or whether you are in UK, or whether you are in France, no matter which part of the world you are, iPhones are manufactured in only three countries. First thing is China, second thing is India, and third thing is Vietnam. So which part of the world you buy iPhone, it is from these three countries only: China, India, and Vietnam. So what they do is, they collect products, or they do a logistics, or they source products from different people and manufacture their iPhones. Final assembly is done in these countries. Let's say, for example, if you are buying an iPhone 15, cameras are sourced from Japan, Sony. LED panels are sourced from Samsung, South Korea. So final assembly is done in these countries only. Now if you see in terms of iPhone, how much impact iPhone is going to have in terms of this tariff war between US and China, I'll tell you an example. If you know, the major manufacturer for iPhone is Foxconn, then there is Pentagon, then there is Wistron. Now, Foxconn alone, I'll tell you about India. Foxconn alone, there is a place called Sri Perumbudur in Tamil Nadu near Chennai. So, Foxconn is having a factory of around factory which is around the span of the factory is around 160 acres. So, whole factory 160 acres. You imagine then how much iPhones are produced in India, right? Now what happens is, let us say if you are buying an iPhone 15 Pro, or let's say iPhone 15 Pro is costing around how much, $1,200, or let's say 1,200 $1,199. I'm saying iPhone 15 Pro Max 256 GB, right? So I'm giving you a tentative price. Now this price will go up from 1,200 to 1,700, or even more than that. So what happens is, Apple will reduce its production in China, and instead shift it to maybe India and maybe Vietnam. So this is how they will rebalance, or this is how they will balance the trade conflict between US and China. So this is a simple example I am saying in terms of iPhone. Now you imagine how many products are being manufactured worldwide. Tesla, for example, is the major supplier for Tesla is from China. Tesla's batteries are made in China. Now, if US is going to impose so much, they are saying 145%. Let's say 100% tariff. Even if they put 100% tariff, Tesla cars are going to cost S model, maybe Model S, which is costing around 45k dollars, $45,000 in US, may go to maybe 65,000 or $70,000 going forward. So this is the state of the economy. So what happens is when prices increase, when iPhone prices increase, when Tesla car prices increase, sales come down, and in turn it impacts the stocks because revenue also comes down. So this is the state of the economy. This is how macroeconomics works in terms of China and US market, and this is not limited to US and China. You have to understand this. So going forward, we will also impact. We will also now what this Modi government is saying, that they are having a very thorough talk with Trump administration to they are having they are trying to make some agreement to decrease the taxes. So we will have to wait and see. Till you get a clear picture, we are not sure about the market. You will see two-way, three-way move. Just to show you the impact of what trade war is doing, if you can see this chart, you can see here from around 22,800 to around 21,700. That itself was a 1,000 points gap down. Then from around 22,200 to around 22,500, 300 points gap up. Then around 22,500 to around 22,400. Then we were in holiday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we are gapping up around from around 22,400 to around 22,700. So that's a 500 points, or let's say 400 points gap up. Now we really don't know what is going to happen on Monday. Monday we are closed for Ambedkar Jayanti, and markets may go on the higher side, or markets may come on the downside. Now, in spite of all these issues, in spite of all these uncertainties, now we are having some perspective, right? So we may go wrong, we may go right. That is a whole different ball game. But what I'm trying to say here is, what will happen if there is positive news? What will happen if there is only negative news? Only two things are happening here. So that's why we are saying this is uncertainty. If it is certain, we will be having a stable market. Market may not see huge gap ups or a huge gap down, is what we think in terms of certainty, right? Since we are in uncertainty, we are seeing huge gap ups like what we said we saw. In fact, this gap down on 7th of April is the highest gap down we have seen in I have seen in my trading career. So it is going to be very hard. Now, let's say for example, now Gift Nifty is showing around 23,100. Now there is a huge order block at around 23,200. So there is every possibility. If the market gaps up, there is possibility that there might be a stop at around 23,200 levels, is what we think. At the same time, what they have done yesterday is that, or on Friday, is that they have written huge order in terms of HNIs, in terms of what to say, in terms of FIIs. What they have done is they have written huge quantity at puts at around 22,800 levels. So market may be range bound between 22,700 or 800 to around 23,200 level, is what I would say. Now this is hypothetical. I'm not going to say this is going to happen. If China comes out and says something else, we might see a huge gap down in coming days. We really don't know what is going to happen. Now there is a conspiracy theory. We also told this in previous video, that US doesn't like China to come on the higher side, or they don't like the growth of China, and they want to restrict China, and that is why they are doing all this kind of mimicking, all this kind of trade war, trying to this is the art of war. That's what the spokesperson from Oval Office told in CNBC yesterday. So I was watching that, and she told this is how Trump's administration work in terms of China. They want to restrict China. They don't want China to grow bigger and bigger because China is going like anything. They have made a artificial sun which can artificial sun fusion technology which can give unlimited source of energy. So there are lots of things China is doing in terms of technology, in terms of EV, in terms of artificial intelligence, deep seek. So all these things US doesn't like, or US administration, whether it is a Trump administration or Joe Biden's administration, they don't like this kind of China moving going forward, and that is why they want to tackle China, and that is why they are putting imposing what is that huge tariff on Chinese import. Now this might help India in many ways. As I told you, let's say for example, iPhone manufacturing may shift from China to India and Vietnam. India is bigger factory than Vietnam. India is having more technology, more in term more talents in terms of and it is very cheap to manufacture in India also. So there is every possibility that India might be a what is that, a turnkey solution, or it might be a alternative to in China. So we might see good positive news now. This war between US and China is having an advantage for India, but we really don't know till what extent it is going to happen. We'll have to wait and see. Till that, we will see uncertainty, we will see huge gap ups, we will see huge gap downs in the market, and markets are not going to be stable for next few days, maybe 1 or 2 months. After that, maybe we will see certainty in this market. Now if you are a trader and if you find it hard to trade in this market, I would say rather than trading in this market, stay in the sideline and see what is happening. What you have to do is that you have to wait and see. Rather than trading in this market, you can wait and see what might happen. And see, I will tell you, capital is a most number one priority. Markets are going to be here, it is not going to go anywhere, right? You will find if this opportunity goes, there are going to be thousands of opportunity. In fact, every second, every minute, every hour, every week, every day is an opportunity for us. So opportunity is going to be here. But if you lose your capital, if you don't have capital, it is going to be very hard for you to recover those things. That is why I'm saying, if you find it very hard to trade in this market, be in the sideline and try to observe what is happening, right? So I've talked too much. I have talked around 14 minutes. I'll see you in next video. So the conclusion here is be careful, trade cautiously. Anything can happen. We are in periods of uncertainty. So be careful, and I'll see you in yet another video. Till then, take care. Bye.